if you Google real estate marketing on YouTube or Google, you're going to probably end up finding some guru who's trying to sell you their next coaching program or some course. I know some of you guys really genuinely have questions on how to market real estate. And so I went out and found one of the best real estate marketers in Houston. Her name is Porsche Brown. She's a real agent. She does real volume. And she has agreed to come on the podcast and share what she knows about marketing real estate. When I tell you she's one of the best, been following her on social media for a while, and she is really good. She knows what she's talking about. So as always, grab your pen and paper and get ready for this next episode for the Blueprint Podcast. Let's get started. All right. Well, welcome to the Blueprint Podcast, Miss Porsche. It's so funny because I feel like I know you, the power of social media. I've been like watching your brand and supporting you online for probably about a year now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. I work in marketing with a lot of real estate agents, and so I'm always looking to see like who's doing relevant things, who's really like pressing the, who's really, like trying new things, being innovative, doing a good job. And so I'll go and like have a folder and I'll save different videos and send them to clients. And so your videos like constantly pop up.
I love that.
And so when I reached out to you, I was like, what's up? Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, oh yeah, I know this woman. You're like,
I already know her.
Yeah, so I had to peel it back. I was like, wait a minute, she doesn't know me. So I think it's so good. So for those who don't know you or maybe haven't been watching you online like I have, can you kind of introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you are, what you do.
Okay, so my name is Porsche. I am a Houston real estate professional. I have been in the business for 6 years now, and I've been doing it full time.
Okay.
Now, when I tell people that I've been doing it full time, they're like, oh my God, you've been killing it. First 2 years of real estate, I didn't make no money.
Okay.
It was a lot of trial and error. So, I definitely gained a lot of experience those first couple of years, and then I started to like get my momentum.
Yeah.
I worked anywhere from investors to new construction to first time home buyers. And now I'm listing tons of properties. And so I have a plethora of experience, and in the real estate game, experience is really just the best.
Yeah.
Is that why it took you? Is
that why those first 2 years just didn't work? Because maybe like you have to take the lumps, or what?
I think everybody's situation is different. Like you can come into the game and get $1 million listing based on your sphere of influence, or it can take you, a couple of months with trial and error, or just figuring out your niche.
Okay.
I think for me, I was going through a lot financially, personally. I was a new mom.
Yeah.
I was getting into a new career. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
Yeah, man.
So it's a lot of like figuring it out.
Right.
And I think those first couple of years, my situation, I had to learn a lot on my own.
Okay.
And gaining like mentors and stuff over the course of years really kind of like feed into you.
Right.
And so that's been helpful as well, but ultimately it's always going to be the responsibility of me to figure it out for myself.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
I think like if you Google like real estate marketing or social media marketing for real estate, like there's so many gurus out here who are just like, typically they're either failed agents that are just like regurgitating other people's information, or they're actually people who have done the thing and they're either at the end of their career or they just want to add something else, you know what I mean? But I think there's just so much value in talking to people who are like really doing the thing and don't have an ulterior motive behind their knowledge. And so I really want to lean into that in this episode, but I think you've been like so gracious to me, even coming on this podcast, be willing to kind of share your story. So I really appreciate that. So like, talk about like, brag on yourself for a little bit. Like, what are some of your like biggest accomplishments in real estate, and kind of how have you gotten to some of those things?
Oh my goodness. One, working for myself.
Yeah.
For a full 6 years.
Absolutely.
I think that's an accomplishment within itself.
Yeah.
Because so many times as an entrepreneur, you want to give up, right? And betting on yourself like is the best thing that you can do, knowing like you can count on you, or you believe in yourself. So that is probably one of my accomplishments. And also with me being a single mom, just juggling life and entrepreneurship, I think that I have nothing but praises to God on how far I've been able to get into my career, just by dedication and will to continue to exceed and do all of those things. Man, I haven't looked at my stats in a while, but I think it was my third year. I made 6 figures.
Okay.
My third year in real estate.
Love it. Yeah.
And when I did it, I cried. I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I cried. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I can really do this. Right? And so just being able to hit some of those like milestones and accomplishments. I think that 4th year of real estate, I was able to create my business, make it an S corp.
Right.
Now I'm on payroll.
Okay.
I got my daughter on payroll.
Yeah. You had a couple $1 million listings, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Love that.
So I have I gained my first $1 million listing here recently.
Yeah.
And so it takes time. Sometimes it can be faster for other people. Sometimes it can, you can carve out your own path, but it really just depends on you.
Right.
I just know I have to keep on going.
Right.
I just know that I can do this, and I'm really just getting started.
Yeah. Love that. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, like I kind of connected with you through social media. I think a lot of people know you because of your social media presence is just very robust, and you do a great job there.
Thank you.
But let's talk about what you actually need to do to real estate, like how to market real estate, right? Because I think a lot of people, like, social media is synonymous with real estate, and excuse me. I think a lot of people think like social media is like anonymous with marketing, right? And so I saw a post the other day. It was like, posting is not a marketing strategy, right? No. So just making a post. So like in terms of like how you think about real estate and marketing, kind of what are some of the things that are important other than obviously, being present on social media?
You definitely have to understand your own individual presence and what you bring to the table, right? So like for me, I'm a people person. I love engaging with other people. I love showcasing my strengths and sometimes my weaknesses because I'm not perfect, right? So I think when you're able to humanize yourself and be authentic through your social media presence, people can gravitate with that and through that.
Okay.
Because just like you, I get clients that are like, oh my God, I've been watching you for a while, right? Like in the day of media and social media, it's like, you've been stalking me. Yeah. Oh, but now you like me. So now you want to do business with me.
Right.
Because they had to,
build that relationship, get comfortable
through social media. They had to see what you were about and things like that. And in terms of kind of like being consistent, you have to show up every single day. Okay. You have to be able to not only show up, but give people an insight of what you do and what value you have. Although social media is a part of a marketing strategy, you still have to touch base with clients, call. You still have to market listings with other agents because agents have buyers. Right? If I have listings and I need to sell something, then I'm having conversations with agents as well. Yeah. So that is either online or on the phone or through email, and that's with your clientele as well. Right. So other things that I do too, because I just enjoy it, is hosting client appreciation events. Yeah. I also love hosting community events. In May, it was Mental Health Awareness Month. So I paired up with a good friend and we did a mental health awareness event at a new construction development. Nice. So I always try to find ways to implement real estate and things that I'm either passionate about or things that are relevant with what I'm doing. Okay. And showcasing that. Yeah. Because like that's the human in me. That's the authentic person who I am, and I'm showcasing that. Yeah. Along with, the B-roll and the fillers and things like that, like, property showings and stuff. You can automate those things. But what you're doing in real time, in real life, you have to be consistent with showing up with that. Yeah, I love that. And so I think it, even thinking about the runway for a lot of people, I think you said it took you 2 years to actually make money, right? Yeah. Like that's not like that's common, right? A lot of people, it takes time. And so you think about like what you did though, I'm sure in those 2 years you were doing these things you're describing, you're building your social capital, you're being out in the community, you're like setting yourself up to have those relationships. And then that third year it clicked, right? Okay, all the timing lined up, people were ready to do the things. And so I think those are things I always like to encourage agents to do when it comes to your marketing. Is obviously social media is a big piece of that, but like, are you out in the streets? Are you like, connecting with your community? I'm not even gonna lie. I networked my ass off. Yeah. My first 2 years of real estate. Right. Like I was meeting wholesalers, investors, other agents, title companies, appraisers, inspectors. Like I went and try to really make a name for myself.
Yeah.
And so as you do that, then you start to, and you start planting those seeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's, hey, I'm going to do business with this person later, or
Right.
I'm going to need this person and their resources later. Like, that's kind of like what I did too,
Mm-hmm.
the first couple of years. But now I'm kind of like in a different position to where like, I don't necessarily need to network with real estate people. I can still be very engaged with real estate and what's going on and colleagues, because you want to have that synergy. You want to be able to always kind of like understand market trends and what other people are doing in real estate. So, you know, I play nice, but then also I'm like, I want to go where there aren't any other real estate agents.
Yeah.
So I'm going to interior design events. I'm going to political events.
Yeah.
I'm such a foodie. I go to food events.
Yeah.
Right? And now I, quote unquote, am becoming an influencer because I like those things.
Right.
Other people see me doing those things and they want to be invited to those things.
Yeah.
I love art.
Yeah.
Also, you know, I'm heavy into the Houston art scene. So it's like, I'm on the board of directors for the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft. We fundraise, you know, we also do community events, and I'm present.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I'm the only agent there.
Yeah.
Right? That's strategic.
Yeah.
Right? So, but those are things that I like to do. You don't have to follow exactly what I do, but always give advice to agents and colleagues. And I'm just like, whatever it is that you have a passion in, or something that you just do on a regular, whether it's working out. Like, there's never been a gym that I'm at that I've never gotten a transaction from.
Really? I love that.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's by like accident.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're working out together, we're sweating.
Yeah.
You list houses? You help people sell houses?
Yeah.
Man, I gotta talk to you.
Yeah.
It just be like that.
Yeah.
It'd be like that. So.
And you run too. I saw you posted you're going to the Z-Fit, I think, running club. Like, I'm sure you're gonna probably get some clients from that too. Like,
but it's all about consistency.
Yeah.
And I have people who hit me up and they're like, "Hey, I think I want to come out when you're out," or like, "How do you like it?" And so now I'm sharing my experience. And they're, you know, maybe that's the push that they need to get out and be social, get active, because they see me doing it, right?
Right.
Which is cool.
That. Yeah,
because sometimes I do that to other people. I'm like, "Girl, how was that event? Did you like it? Tell me the real." Because like, I'm thinking about it. Like, you know, so you always kind of want to have those people you're like, you know, influenced by. You know, we're inspired in some form or fashion with people, the things that we read, the things that we hear, you know, the places that we go.
Right.
You know, so you have to be really intentional about that.
Yeah, I love that. And like learning how to add value, right? Because I love that you're like, hey, people want to go where you're going, right? They want to be at the restaurants you're going to. They want to have a life that you have, right? So they see that and like, oh, they envision that, right? So then it's easy for you to then just transition over to the next thing. Okay, hey, real estate at this point, or it's just, you know, hey, social life at this point, or fundraising for nonprofits, right? But it's like being able to add value to people's lives. I think that's so important. And I think just that value creation is something you have to kind of learn sometimes, right? If it's not a part of you, if you're not already a socialite and you're used to being out there, like, you're gonna have to learn that skill set. And so I think that's just something that's gonna be a little uncomfortable, definitely, you know, at times.
You know, it can be, but there are plenty of people who are killing it and they may not be on social media because they have a strong sphere of influence, right? They market in their own way, but they're consistent. So like, no matter the like strategy or the tactic behind it, it's all about consistency, repetition, and even automation, right? Like, I'm in the process of growing. So how can I implement things to allow me to not have to manually do it and do it repeatedly, because now I have an automation system in place to help me out with that.
I love that.
That's super important.
So when we talked before, I asked you, like, what are some keys to being a successful agent, particularly getting luxury listings kind of things. And so you gave me like 3 main points. So you said, be a socialite, which we've kind of been talking about already. Get out there, be out in the community, invest in video. So I definitely want to talk about that here in a sec. You talked about consistently, so showing up consistently with video. And then you also talked about just like making yourself a billboard and kind of curating your life, which I think kind of also goes into, you know, being a socialite. But talk about how you curate your life and kind of make yourself a billboard.
Yeah, I love the aspect of curation, because you can curate your life, your presence, the people that you want to be around and inspire. And so when I say that, I want to go places that I can not only add value, but also seek value in vice versa.
Okay.
Right.
So give us an example of that.
Okay, let me see. I'm trying to think of something recent, but we'll just say ZFit, right? ZFT Running Club here in Houston. You can meet so many different people from so many different walks of life. Yeah. But your common goal is to be fit and run. Yeah. Right? And so we're there for a common reason, and you can strike up a conversation with someone that you may have never talked to on any other aspect of life. Yeah. Outside of, hey, we're running together today. Yeah. You know? Okay. And they do icebreakers, right? Yeah. So they're like, you know, meet 5 people, you know, ask them what brought them here or where they're from. Okay. Right? So now you have conversations going that you may not have had with people beforehand, right? And so I get bored sometimes of like working out by myself. So I'm like, okay, let me go to Instagram. Let me see where people who look like me, who are being consistent, it looks fun, it looks active. And as a parent, although I'm doing it now during the summertime by myself, my daughter, she's going to be running with me here soon too. I love it. When she comes back. Right? Because it's family oriented as well. Yeah, I love that. So what are things that I like to do that I can also bring my daughter into? Because my daughter be in these real estate streets too, to a certain aspect, because it takes up so much of my time. I need her to understand why I'm not there. Yeah. I need her to understand, like, this is what mommy does to make a beautiful life for you. Yeah. You don't want for nothing. You need nothing, but you have everything. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, whether it's being active or, you know, your work, all of those things, you can implement your friends, your family, your loved ones in so many different ways. Right. Just by curating your own life.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, you know, one thing you also do really well, I think you're always keyed into like the top places to eat in Houston, but Houston's such a foodie capital, so it's not really hard, but also I love that, like, I think there was a new place that just opened and I followed them, and then I saw that you followed them, and I was like, of course she already knows about Houston. Like, so I see that you eat at places that look attractive, or, you know, that people are going to, that it's like a, you know, it's a status thing, right? And not necessarily always in like some kind of pretentious way, but it's just like, hey, we want to go look good and meet other people and like be in those kind of environments that other people want to be in, like, you know.
And that's a thing too, right? What type of people do you want to meet? Where are they? Yeah. Where are they hanging out? Where are they eating? Right. And when it comes to new places, where is somewhere that you can produce content, share it, collaborate with a new restaurant, and now you get different sets of eyes on what you're producing. Right. Like, that's free advertisement. Yeah. Right? And as a business, those are business expenses I get to write off. Right. Love or, that. You know, for my women that go out on dates and stuff like that, go to the nice restaurants and try new things and see new people and dress up and be cute, because, like, there's so much more than Sunday Fun Day. There's so much more than the movies. Yeah. Right? Like, even if it's not eating, I mean, Houston has a beautiful museum district.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, like, I think it's over 20 something museums here in Houston. Also, we have a theater district. Yeah. You know, we have traveling plays. We have, you know, I love the Christmas time. Yeah. Because Houston has so many well-known plays and dances, and just the arts are really on fire during the holiday season. So, like, there is always going to be something for someone to do. Yeah. Just showcase it, because Houston is huge in diversity numbers. People are always moving here. Yeah. So they're always looking for things to do.
Yeah. You know, one place I've been trying to go to is Jazz in the Jungle at Eden Plant Co.
I haven't gone yet.
They've been like every single night, and they're midweek, like on a Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. And that's honestly why I keep forgetting to go, because I'm like, I always think things are happening on the weekend, and then I'm like, oh, this is on a Wednesday or on Thursday. So I even love in Houston, I mean, you can go to those like really curated type of events that like aren't really that expensive and are a really great way to just connect with people, and really unique opportunities. So yeah,
I agree. So Far Sounds.
Yeah.
Have you gone to any one of those before?
That was actually the first date me and my wife went on with the So Far Sound.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so we're a massive So Far Sound friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't gone, but I get their emails all the time, and I'm like, I need to go experience something
so
like
fun.
that.
Yeah, so fun.
You know, and they have like the, aside from So Far Sounds, you have the candlelight music, orchestra events that go on. Have you been to Bald Kitty yet? In Edo?
No, that sounds awesome.
Hipster, underground, art gallery, music, spirits. Like, there's so much to offer. So it's like when people say, what is there to do? You're not really looking.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're not looking hard enough, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, TikTok and Instagram and all of those things. But I enjoy experiencing any city that I'm in.
How do you maintain a level of authenticity when you are curating? Because obviously these are things you're going to strategically to, you know, from a business perspective, but also just from personal, like, hey, you're a human, you want to go have fun and do things. Yeah. But also, do you feel like there's ever any like pressure to maybe be someone that you're not, or, you know, to try to like look a certain way? Do you ever feel that pressure? You know?
No.
Okay. Love that.
I can't do it.
Okay.
I ain't fake.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be something that I'm not.
Okay.
I will tell any and everybody, like, who you get on social media is exactly who you're going to get in person. Like, there's different levels to me. Some you may not ever see because that's just, you have to really know me. Right. But other than that, like, no, I aspire to be no one else but me. Yeah. Man, I went to church this past Sunday, and one of the
Where'd you go, by the way?
I went to Celebration of Life.
Okay, nice.
Willowbrook area.
Okay.
The pastor stated that you should not want to be anybody but in the image of God. You can be inspired by people, but you shouldn't want to be them. Yeah. Right? I don't want to be anybody but a true, beautiful version of myself through the eyes of God. Like, period. Yeah. So I want to be better. I want to look and feel better. But I can be inspired by beauty within humans and, you know, places and things and stuff like that. But like, ultimately, no, I'm definitely me against me.
Yeah, I love that. And so that's actually a great segue. I want to show you my favorite listing video that you have done, and I want to talk about like your confidence and just everything in this video. I think it's just so well done. So I'm gonna play this real quick. We'll show this to you guys on the screen.
So tell me this. Can you envision? Because I can.
So cool. So
I like this.
So I love this because you're just like showing it. Right? It's like still being built, but you're really showing the process. Yeah.
Vecino home. Did good with this one. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so I love that video. You seem so confident, so in your element, you know what I mean? And I know we talked earlier about like video is a big piece of marketing for real estate. So talk about how you were able to develop this confidence on camera. And I know this is probably an extension of who you are just in real life, right? I'm sure you're a confident individual. So just talk about this video, the confidence, why video is important.
Well, one, video is important because you have the opportunity to show up visually to a broad range, a broad audience, right? And so that video right there was produced by Larry with Prima Visuals, one of the most amazing digital editors and videographers here in Houston. So shout out to Larry. And I was inspired by my brokerage, Chris Fan, who's the broker of trust. He is a video marketing guru. Okay. So, you know, he always gave us ideas and inspiration. And this video was one of them. And me putting my spin on it. First of all, it depends on my hairstyle you got. Because I had that short haircut. So I think that was a different person at that time. So, you know, you can kind of maneuver differently with the hairstyle. But I always want to make sure like any video that I'm doing I'm doing it the way that I want to do it, the way that I feel that it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I just want to have fun with it, you know, and showcasing properties that are already completed. Cool, you can add that, but let's do something different. Show something that is incomplete, because you can definitely purchase a property while it's under construction, right? A pre-construction sale. Because if you have a limited amount of properties and you really like something and it's hot on the market, and you know the market is going really good, like don't wait till it's completed, because it might not be there.
Right.
So having the opportunity to showcase things before it's completed, that was the strategic strategy with that particular video. Right. And then also integrating renderings, because like you want to be able to see the finishes, the exterior, the interior color, and things like that. Yeah. So mixing the two was very like, okay, we need to present this in a way where people can see the now and the later, and then the value, right? And so that was that video, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was hot. It was hot out there in these Houston summer streets. That was so about a year ago.
It's so human. You're able to capitalize on what could be a weakness in the properties where you can't really visualize it, right? So if I was touring it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see it, but I can't really envision it, right? So this was able to really like lean into that, right?
And as a new agent, years ago, I would walk into new construction and I'm like, I don't, I see wood, but like, where's the rooms and how is everything structured? So it happens over a progression of time. You see the layouts, you understand, okay, this is where the counter is going to go. This is where the double sinks are. This is where, the lighting fixtures are, because you have the lighting and the soffits. And so like it happens over time. So I don't expect buyers and clients to automatically get that. Right. So just like helping them visually walk through a property, that helps out a lot.
And this is obviously, you said you worked with Larry and his team. So this was a very expert level created video. Yeah. Not all of your videos are like that. You put that much investment into it. So talk about like even some of the videos you film on your phone and like ways how are you able to leverage video in whatever capacity or time or investment that you have?
So it's definitely been trial and error, right? Because at first I had to get comfortable being in front of the camera, because for a very long time I'm like, I don't like the way I sound. This is hard. Like I didn't like that. But then if your money depends on you showing up and showing out, then you're going to learn how to do it. Yeah. And so you go back and forth with, okay, now I got to learn video, how to shoot, what am I shooting, and how the best way to shoot it. Yeah. And so I go back and forth now. I can go in and do a property tour, whether it's I'm in the video, I'm not in the video, I use a tripod, I use a gimbal. Those are things that I can easily do myself. Sometimes I'll use CapCut, sometimes I'll edit in Instagram. Okay. But it's, again, all about, and it's not professional, but you are visually showcasing the property, yourself, your face. Like, people need to be able to recognize you, to reach out to you, because like that's your brand. Right. And so you see a lot of these accounts that have tons of beautiful showings and home tours and stuff like that. But like somebody can easily repost that and you don't know who it came from. You don't see nobody's face. You don't see no branding, no anything. So that can be easily diluted. Right. But if you're showing up and showing yourself, your face, and value in your videos, then that goes way longer. Yeah. Now, I'll say, like, it's a standard for me to do professional videos of all different, like, from, for my listings, from different videographers, depending on their availability, depending on my vision for what I'm trying to showcase. But all of my listings come with professional videography. Yeah. That's a standard that I set for my business. In terms of like home tours and things like that, it's, you can farm certain places. If you want to do business in Katy and Cypress, then you're consistently showing up and showing those tours of those homes and the incentives for buyers and giving information and stats and community information on those tours specific to areas that you want to be present in. Yeah. So, you have to have a combination of everything and consistent. But, some people, you just want to see just sold or like at the closing. No,
Mhm.
like what's the information behind that got you to that closing table?
Yeah.
You know, I try to communicate with people like, you know, hey, we're under contract. It wasn't that easy to get under contract, but we're under contract and we're closing on this day. And, you know, I'm relocating a client from Austin and, you know, just like what's going on behind the scenes. Sometimes people want to know and see, and you know, I have like tons of showings today and I'm gonna be on this side of town and I'm gonna be on this side of town, and it's gonna be a long day. People want to understand like, okay, what is it that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
And adding value in the midst of all of that.
Yeah, I think that's so good. And I think something I've learned working with videographers, like you can even pick up, like they'll teach you things, right? And so I've learned like small little color grading things or editing things, or like that I'll pick up. I'm like, okay, I can take that from the professional and use it for my own. Like if I'm editing my own video, I'm like, oh, okay, I learned that. And so I think some value in like investing in a team that can help you, you know what I mean? But also like learning from your team as well. So don't just like pay them and then like ask questions like, hey, how did you do that? Or why did you do that?
And direction, you know, because I get that question all the time and I'm like, yes, I can speak well on camera and I can do certain things, but I really do rely on my videographer to not only make me look good, but direct me. Yeah. And if I give you a vision, how can we play this vision out on video, right? And so, again, I work with some really great videographers here in Houston, so shout out to you guys. Yeah. But they help me as a part of like my marketing team for my business. And that's just one aspect. Yeah. Because I mean, social media, video marketing, email marketing, community, grassroots events and things like that, actually physically showing up, it's all encompassed in your success as a real estate agent and overall entrepreneur. Yeah. Right? Like you have to have different tactics and strategies of how you're going to play out your marketing plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, one thing I think would be really fun, my favorite listing in Houston just hit the market. Okay, I want to show you this market and I want to get your thoughts on what you would do to market this property, just so people can hear like your creative marketing sales brain like on the go, right? So I'm throwing it at her, she's just gonna respond in real time. Perfect. So this is 808 South Coronado, and this is like a duplex. It looks like it has like kind of a mixed use type environment.
I love the brick. Yeah. I love the greenery. Yeah. I love the windows.
The steel kind of industrial thing. It's like that's a thing for me. Like my next house has to have that. Yeah. And then like the wood railings. Yeah. So this is just like, I love this house. And obviously I think this is like a $2 million house. So this is a little bit out of my price range right now, but in the future, I'm hoping that this house is going to be available because I like it. I think there would be really cool to put a coffee shop on one side or maybe a barber shop. And then the other side could be some form of a like, Airbnb or like a short or long-term rental. I also really love, I don't know if that's real concrete here.
Either concrete or like a limestone wash. Yeah. I've seen people start to do on their walls because it gives like a industrial feel. Yeah, so absolutely. I like that as well.
Yeah, so this just has a lot of texture, a lot of just like, it feels kind of even historic. I'm like, ooh, this is like really good. So
a mixture of materials. I mean, from wood, steel, glass, brick.
I love that. Like that patio, that looks like a commercial patio to some degree. That looks like it could be a wine bar or something, So like in terms of how you think about real estate, if you saw a property like this, what are the things that you're thinking about in terms of how to market this, how to find the ideal buyer? Like what are some of the things that you're going to?
This house is located in the Heights, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
So the first thing that comes to mind is pairing up with the most popular restaurant and having a pop-up there. Okay. And either, just kind of having it as like a broker open strictly for real estate agents or to the public, but then also make it very exclusive. So, hey, we only have a certain amount of tickets and have the tickets sponsored by, some high clientele companies. I mean, brickwork, right? Brick restoration, something like that. A pool company, because there's a pool in the back. Right. Interior design, something like that. But I would definitely have a really nice, intimate event that allows people to really feel the space of the home and enjoy it, and a different comfort level with food, right? Like Houston this past year had so many Michelin nominated chefs. Okay. So like, even if it's, you know, just reaching out to a chef and asking, hey, would you like to do a pop-up? I have this $2 million listing in the Heights, prime location, great target market, an audience. Those are who they want to serve anyway. And then, because there's so much wall space, you can have a separate event as an art showcase.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is something that I've done at other $1 million listings, right? Because when you kind of look at the art market, who are those people that are actually investing in art? Right? And so whether it's pairing up with a local art curator or a gallery and letting them know, hey, I have this space for use. If you guys wanted to do a showcase, you know, this is what this space looks like. This is what, you know, I envision for this particular event. And we, you know, it has to make sense for the other party, right? So if you know who your clientele is, who is buying $2.5 million listing? And how do we get them in the door? Well, they're probably eating at certain places. And so we want to go where they are, and we want them to come where we are.
Especially, this is a lifestyle type property anyway, right? In terms of what's happening when, you know, I think a lot of times, like, there are a lot of, I have some wealthy friends that they don't do anything. They just homebodies. They chill. They ain't, you know what I mean? They eating at Chick-fil-A just like me, right? Like,
they're not out about sometimes.
Right, they aren't. And so, but I think with this kind of property, the character of this property tells you the person who would buy this probably has a different goal in mind. Maybe they're a luxury investor, you know what I mean? Maybe, hey, they just love this property, they want to have a part of their portfolio. There's a lot of different things. So I love that you combined what you already do in terms of the lifestyle curation, lifestyle architect, in terms of how you market yourself and your business. I love how you just combine that into marketing this, and it makes sense, right?
I love that, you know, because once you start hitting luxury, you have to be able to identify not only the property with the right audience, but how that lifestyle of that property works for that client. So you want to understand the numbers for that community, like, you know, and there are resources that agents have to kind of understand, like, oh, in this particular zip code, in this neighborhood, these people, you know, graduated from college or post-grad, and, you know, they make this amount of income, and these are probably the occupations that they have. And so that helps us understand, like, who we're marketing to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And so, and also just business owners, local business owners in the area, you know, letting them know about your $2 million listing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I love that.
And if you guys have not watched the new Sirhan
on
Netflix, oh my goodness, I loved it so much. And usually I do not like the real estate shows, unless it's like $1 million listing. But Selling Sirhan, that show was so amazing. Not only was it diverse, but it showcased a top producing broker out of New York being able to give his agents platforms to showcase their skills, their negotiations, their abilities in like an amazing way. Like I was so excited.
I love that. I had actually met some of his agents at a Tom Ferry event last year, and so one of them was in the show, and I was like, oh my god, I know those guys. So I think it was such a cool. It was more realistic than most real estate reality TV shows are.
It was very more.
I forgot. I think it was like Selling Sunset at one point. Like all the agents were like sitting at their desk, and like I don't know. It was just weird. I was like, yo, agents are out in the field. Like they're not really just like sitting there just like talking, like, you know what I mean? Obviously every brokerage is different, but there's things about that show that I was like, okay, this looks staged. And like I feel like Selling Sirhan, they were just like doing the thing, like they were actually selling properties, right? And so I loved it.
They're like, we're on the phones, we're making calls,
you
know, we're on this side of town at this time, and then, you know, on the other side of town, like it was way more realistic. And know? I
was shocked that like people were buying like $12 million, you know, listings cash.
And they look like regular everyday people. And that's another thing, right? Like, I do not want to look like I'm being something that I'm not, because like, who am I identifying with? I can still uphold, you know, this presence and, you know, myself and my standards, and still be able to be real cool with someone that got money and you wouldn't even know it. You know,
love it.
So
so with really that in mind, obviously it looks like Ryan is kind of starting to transcend even more real estate. He's kind of moving into entertainment, which I think he kind of always has been entertainment, you know what I mean? But kind of his brand is growing. So where do you see your brand going? Like Porsche Brown, like what's the future for you in real estate?
Oh my goodness. I really look forward to tapping into my personality and different aspects of real estate. So, you know, for me, continuously doing more video marketing, but also communicating with resources to help answer the hard questions, or like, you know, just showcasing things outside of the norm that people wouldn't necessarily get, or like, I have so many different ideas, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I would love to even like do a podcast, because I know too many people, and I love sitting down and having conversations with people. Especially like, I have those clients that like, they become friends, and also like, even after the transaction, we get on the phone and we just like act like no time passed. You bought that house a year ago, but we're still very cool. And so, and they work in so many different areas. I have one client. She is a chemist, scientist, chemist, or one of the two. But she just headed out to Germany. But me and her, we have the same birthday, and we hadn't really talked since our transaction earlier this year. But we got on the phone. I'm like, girl, did you fare out well after the hurricane? Is everything okay? Like, you know, I'm checking on you, because like, that's what a good agent does, right? I'm checking on my clients, like, to make sure, and also, you know, not only asking questions, but providing, you know, resources. Hey, like, if you need this, go here, and, you know, ask these questions and stuff like that. But also starting a team and expanding. Because I can't do everything by myself. And so, you know, I currently have a part-time admin, looking to make her full-time. I actually have a business partner that we're about to pair up.
Love that.
He's crazy busy. I'm crazy busy. And we're going to be both crazy busy together, but then understand what the dynamics are so that we can delegate to, and then continue to build. Because like, not that I'm a media personality, but like, I think because of who I am and how I've gotten here, that allows me to continuously grow. Right? Gotcha. And I want to expand on that and explore that. Also, I love art, so I want to make a space to where I can really thrive in the art culture. And so that's been a struggle for me, because when real estate is really busy, I'm not going to view art and having art conversation, which makes me so happy. If you just place me in like a fine arts museum on a Sunday, like, I can be there all day. Like, I can be there all day just looking at art and just like reading. I love history too. So like, that's like a happy place of mine.
Love it.
And so just making space for growth. And, you know, also having that conversation with God, like, just help me walk through this path that you see fit. Because sometimes I don't have all the answers. But he can provide those to me. So making sure that I make time to communicate my needs and my wants, and also just giving praise throughout the entire process as well. Because so man, I would not be here if it was not for him. I would not be here. Okay? I would not be sitting here. You know, if I didn't have a strong faith. But I see growth. You know, I see multiple businesses. There's so much outside of real estate. Real estate is an avenue that I definitely see propelling me into different areas of entrepreneurship and business. I just gotta make the time for it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that partnership, being able to share some duties and all those things are going to help kind of alleviate some of that and really help you grow. And I think that's smart and strategic. And I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
I think it's so cool that you are such a whole person, right? And I think that's, for entrepreneurs, a lot of times we just get stuck in work mode. Like we're just grind. And it's like, especially if you have kids, it's like grind and family, right? That's all we got time for, right? And I love that you are a person that understands that you like history and you like art and you like these things and you're like making time for it when you can, and you're planning to make more time. I just think that makes that's a person that you can trust, right? That's somebody that's like, hey, there's like that person can like unload and just be a real person, right? And I think I love that about you, and that's what I took away from this conversation. Like, this is a real estate, like, she knows her stuff, she's good at marketing, she does the thing, she's also a human and she's having a lot of fun. And so thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You should be getting the next video popping up on your screen right now. So why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I know if you're still watching, you enjoyed this conversation. So hit the subscribe button and check out that next video popping up on your screen right now. Thank you guys for watching the Bootcamp Podcast. See you next time.